I've been thinking a little bit about why people get embarrassed, and the conversation came up about, you know, somebody having a certain feeling about being embarrassed, and then, it occurred to me, like, why would you feel embarrassed? What would you be doing that would cause you to feel embarrassed? And of course, sometimes it's just public speaking, having to get in front of some group of people you don't know and express yourself with many, many eyes staring at you. Some argue that's an evolutionary thing, like if you see people staring at you, that maybe that could be some sort of, response, that you're in danger, So you might feel embarrassed, or maybe nervous is a better word for it, uncomfortable. But I did read, and I thought to myself, like, if you're embarrassed, there's reasons. The first might be like you're new at something, like you're brand new at playing the guitar or drawing, and you have to show your skills to the best of the best. So you might feel a little embarrassed. It's what they call the price of entry. Like the first time you do something, the first time you try to play a song, you might feel embarrassed if you don't do as well as other people. So it's the price of entry. Like, you're going to feel embarrassed. You're trying to spar against a really good karate player or a karate master, or you're brand new to doing something. You're going to feel embarrassed. So, okay, that's fine. And then maybe nervous if you have to public speak, but true embarrassment. Of course, you can feel embarrassed for somebody else like that. Was it secondhand embarrassment? But I was thinking particularly about a situation where a lot of people were worried about, will this person or could this person feel embarrassed when confronted about what they've done? And I think that the reason a person would feel embarrassed in that situation is because they've done something wrong. And it could be on purpose that they did something wrong. Or perhaps it could be accidental. And then how do you handle those situations? For me, I just admit it. If I've messed up and I'm embarrassed, like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I made a test too hard for my students, like everybody did before. Like, oh shoot. It's easy to admit because nobody expects perfection, do they? I mean, but you admit it, you move on, you learn. And then another time you can feel embarrassed or confrontational almost, as if you've made a mistake and you know it's the wrong thing to do. And you knew it was the wrong thing to do the whole time. Your moral compass says this is the wrong thing to do. And you go in and steal something, or you go lie to somebody, or you cheat on your boyfriend or girlfriend, that kind of thing. You know it's wrong. You do it, and then you feel embarrassed or confrontational afterwards. Yeah, that's how you feel. And sometimes that embarrassment, you can't just back away. You can't say, oh, I made a mistake, redo, mulligan. If you're a golfer, I'm not a golfer, but I know what the term mulligan means. And then there's times where you won't admit there's a mistake, or you want it to be secret and hidden. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to hide it. And then you get caught, and you're embarrassed, and then you want to blame other people. I've worked with teachers that got caught doing things and ended up having to retire because they were working a second job when they shouldn't be working a second job. Or stealing funds or misappropriating, things like that. And then oftentimes narcissistic behavior there, they blame other people for it. Oh, you caused me to do it. Well, no. Nobody calls anybody to do anything. It's a matter of personal choice if you believe in free will. For the most part, I mean, unless you push somebody down and then, they look at you and say, you caused me to fall. Well, yeah, that's true, but if you most situations, if you're operating of your own volition, your free will, if you believe that people have free will, that's a different story. But why people feel embarrassment is something I think about. Like, why would a person? And in the cases I felt embarrassed, it's because I've done something absolutely terribly. You sing a song and you're like, God, that sounds so bad. That's embarrassing. But nobody holds you to that, or you make a mistake and you accidentally burp or fart in front of somebody. That's embarrassing. You just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That's funny, and you shouldn't have done it, but it's goofy or funny, or you let a wordy dirt slip or something. You feel embarrassed. You shouldn't have done it. You apologize. You move on. But in other cases, it's why are you keeping something hidden? And when you hide things and then you get caught and you get embarrassed, well, there's a reason for that. It's not because you're like, oh, it was an accident. No, it's because you're uncertain of your judgment, you made a bad choice, and you're not willing to admit it. I've seen that with grown adults. Even and young children, we have young children that get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, literally their hand in the cookie jar, and I didn't do it, or they get caught cheating on a test or something of that nature, and sometimes students just own up to it. I got caught not really cheating. I turned myself in years ago because I was in a bind, and we were supposed to be watching a radio show and summarizing it. I'm like, look over at somebody like, what was it about? And I wrote it down. They summarized it for me, and I wrote it down, and I ended up admitting it to the teacher, and got a 0 for it. That's fine, but I realized my misjudgment, and I was 15 years old. I think people could forgive me. But you get embarrassed, like, I shouldn't have done that. Man, did it affect my grade? Yeah. Was it a learning experience? Oh yeah, it was. Did I do it again? No. But you learn when you're younger. That's why you have to learn when you're younger. So you get to university and you don't make silly mistakes. But as a teacher, 21 years in, as a father of 2 children that are wonderful young kids, mistakes I made when they were younger as a parent, or as a teacher in my first years, I tend not to make again. Or if I do, it's just probabilities against me, and it's a true flub. I try a lab, it doesn't work, or something of that nature. It's, or you have somebody come in for your observation, the class is just chaotic or something. It's embarrassing, but you move on, you apologize, move on. It's not my best day, okay? If you're looking for Superman, you're going to have to look somewhere else. But in any event, just think about that when it comes to people being embarrassed. Like, why are you embarrassed? Why are you so worried about what people say? Epictetus, I think is his name. I had a quote about insults, and the insults and slander aren't what hurts you. It's your response to it that makes it insulting. It's, in other words, how you view it. I don't know the exact quote because I read a lot and I forget the exact quote, but it's a Stoic principle that you can respond in a way that causes something to be what it is, or you can respond in a way, your emotions in a way that you just let it go. Embarrassment may be that way. If you're doing something for the first time, you just have to deal with it. Speaking in front of people. But if you're doing something it's wrong, and you get caught and you're embarrassed, and you take it as an insult even, your perception of that could be the cause of why you feel that way. And maybe it's real. But in any event, I think about that, amongst many other things. If you're embarrassed about something, why? Is it just nature? Is it doing something brand new? Or is it you've done something wrong? How you respond to that very thing. That's all.